Hello and welcome again to Can TV 21 Hotline. Let's talk etiquette. My name is Nathan Wright, and I am the Executive Director of the Etiquette Foundation of Illinois. And I am so pleased to be here once again with this wonderful viewing audience. Please do not hesitate to give us a call at 312-738-1060. Please do not hesitate to give us a call. This is the grandest subject of all disciplines, and this is something that impacts us every moment of our lives. Etiquette is part of being civilized, living in a civilized society where millions of people, right now we are like 300 million people in the United States. And those 300 have to have a system where they can work together, they can play together, they can cooperate with one another. And that system is called etiquette. And it's a social system, it's a business system, it's a legal system. They are all aspects of it that evolve around this one word, etiquette. And if you are conscious of it, and you are aware of its purpose, its place in your life, then you can utilize it to the maximum of your ability. It's an intellectual exercise. It gives your humanity purpose, and you can do it. Just realize what you have here and utilize it. Do not wait for the media to try to tell you that you should be more civilized, or that you should practice more etiquette, or that we should return to civility only when they think it's absolutely necessary to return to civility. They don't mention it any other time, but each and every moment, in every person's participation in this society who are conscious, are using etiquette in some form or fashion. It could be something very simple and mundane, but at the end of the moment, it's an etiquette expression. Even when you are visual in public, you are expressing etiquette. If you're walking down the sidewalk, you know what side of the sidewalk you should walk on because you're practicing etiquette. It's no different from the roadway. You know what side of the road to drive on. You know that you don't drive on the left-hand side of the road, you drive on the right-hand side of the road. Maybe if you're in Europe, you drive on the other side of the road. But in this society, in this nation, in this country, under these sets of rules, under the English language, those customs are part of who you are and who I am. It's a part of who we are as a civilized society. And so etiquette comes to the very base of that. And you start your whole consciousness based on your conduct in public. And so that's the key to what we are having as problems. We're having problems simply because we don't understand what etiquette really represents. And so therefore we have all kinds of antisocial, dysfunctional kinds of conduct, because our children are not properly taught etiquette. And yes, absolutely, fundamentally, yes, it has to be taught in the schools in order for that school organization, that institution, can function at the highest levels that it should be functioning at. So I don't care how much math you want to teach, how much science you want to teach. If you don't have disciplined students, then you're not going to be able to function at your very, very best. And that's the key. Every child needs to be taught etiquette so they'll know how to behave in the school environment. There are rules of behavior for a student. There are rules of behavior for the teacher. There are rules of behavior for the whole school, working as one unified, cooperative body of humanity. And if you know your role as a student, you know what to do and what not to do. And so you understand why you are there as a student. and what your role and purpose in that school as a student is. If our children were taught that, then we would have an entirely different society, an entirely different body of humanity, if they are taught that. It's not complicated, but it has to be instilled in their value system. Yes, their value system. And once it's there in their value system, it's behavior that you know is appropriate. It's behavior that you know is correct. It's behavior that you know will compliment another person simply by saying, hello, how are you today? It's behavior that's meant to create harmony within the society, within the community, within the family. This is what etiquette is. And if you aren't practicing it, if you aren't aware of it from an intellectual point of view, then you're not able to understand why you're doing and what reason for you to do it a certain way. It's a way of communicating with another human being. So we have to be able to understand the rules. I understand the rules and you understand the rules. 2 plus 2 is 4. Now, if I say 2 plus 2 is 4 to you, and you said, no, that's incorrect, 2 plus 2 is 5. I was taught it was 2 plus 2 was 5. Then there's conflict. There's a disagreement. There's disorder, not order. We have to agree what the rules are in addition. 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay? And if we are both taught that in math, we then understand the purpose of mathematics. See? And so it's the same with the language. We need to incorporate the language into etiquette. And it is a language issue. It is that. But if you want your children to speak the language correctly, you need to teach them that in relationship to how they communicate. You don't say, someone asks you a question, you don't say, huh, yeah. Those are not words. So you have to correct that child. You have to let that child understand that that's not the appropriate way to respond to someone. So etiquette is everything. That's creative, disciplined, and organized. It is everything that you do consciously in public. That's what etiquette is. So it should be the first subject on the list of curriculum in the school. The first subject should be etiquette, so that that child will understand what their role is and how they should behave in that environment. If you say, children, please line up over on that side of the wall, that child should understand exactly why you're asking them to line up. And children, please be quiet. Do not talk to each other. That child will know what is the purpose of not talking. It's about order. And society in its essence is really about order. Not disorder, but about order. And yes, I know you told, oh, you can't be free. We're a free society. So what? No, we're not a free society. We're not free to do any and everything we want to do. Where do you get that idea? We're a free society. We have rules of behavior that we must follow. We're free to do that. Now, if we disobey those rules, there are definitely going to be consequences. That's what's missing. Our children don't understand if the rules serves a purpose. And if they follow those rules, there are rewards. There are benefits. If they decide to drive on the other side of the road and not stop at the stoplight, there are going to be consequences. And so they have to start by examining their own value system. And they can do that by using this simple program called Etiquette. And there are tons and tons of books available to you. It's not like it's hidden. It's not hidden. Just Google etiquette on your computer. Or if you don't have a computer, go to the local library. And there's volumes of information on the do's and don'ts for every situation in public. And yes, it doesn't take long to get yourself acquainted with it and understand why this is important. It makes life better. This is what it does. It enhances the quality of life for you and for all of those you associate with. That's what it does. And so you can adapt to this system, although you use it every day, whether you want to declare that you're using it or not. You use it because you may have just, it's repetitive. You see someone else doing it, you repeat what you see. But that's not the real fundamental understanding of it. Simply because you are behaving the way everyone else is behaving, that somehow says that you understand why you're doing what you're doing and why you're behaving the way you are, because everybody else is behaving that way. So if everybody get up and just start hollering and shouting and whatever, you're going to do that? See, you have to have your own understanding and appreciation of etiquette. And so if you can do that for yourself, and for those you are influencing, especially our young people, our children, you are influencing them when they observe your behavior. So what do you want to represent in terms of being civilized and understanding your role in society? We all have a role, no exceptions. We all have a role that relates to our humanity, that relates to our value system. And that's why this discipline is so important for you to understand. Okay? So with that long introduction, I'm going to return to a subject that we covered about 2 weeks ago. And we're getting some great response to this particular program that we're offering at the Etiquette Foundation of Illinois. But we want to enhance it and put it out there again so that we can hopefully get some more people to participate. Right now we have our capacity is about 20, and we have about 8 people who have already responded and signed on. We want to get to 20. We feel if we can get 20 adults, teenagers that can participate in the program, we would be more than happy to have you come on board, because this discipline, we need people who are willing to volunteer to save our children. We are going to have to do it as a community. And you're not going to get paid. In most cases, you have to spend money. But the lives you will save would be so, so valuable. Just think. Just go and look at the criminal. Go to court and look at the people going up who are accused of committing crimes. Somewhere, somebody failed that person. Somebody allowed this person to go forward without having an understanding of their role in society. And the consequences can be profound. The consequences of this individual being allowed to evolve in this manner, and the consequences of their behavior may have taken another person's life 10 years from now, 15 years from now, or tomorrow. That person may have actually taken another person's life. That's something you can't get back. You can't correct. So somewhere along the way, we failed that infant. That child that once was an infant, that's 20 now, that's 17 now. He was once an infant, totally, completely innocent. And yet we allowed that infant to grow up to become a killer, or an armed robber, or a thief. Somebody dropped the ball in that person's life, that infant who's now 15, who's now 20. Every child is born innocent. Something must have happened in that 15-year period that turned this person into a corrupt maniac, competent and capable of taking another person's life. So we have to step up as a community. And so let me put this on the overhead. You may have seen it the last time we were on air. This subject here, etiquette-centered mentoring, a New Year's resolution. We want some men out there to make their resolution, this participation, this occupancy, this social system. We want those men out there who are willing to commit. And it may be somebody in your family. Just look at your family. How many young men in your family has gone to prison that's younger than you? I'm talking to the elders in the family, the 50-year-old men, 60-year-old men in the family. How many of your younger members of your family have gone to prison? I'm sure that may be one. If you look at your extended family, I'm sure you know one friend's son who went to prison. What would have made a difference in that child's life, in that person's life, had someone mentored him before he got to the point of doing something illegal? How many? So, don't start talking about you want to go mentor him after he'd been locked up and did 10 years of prison time. I mean, yeah, okay, you can help him then, sure. He certainly will appreciate it. But let's get ahead of that. Let's start mentoring before he ends up killing somebody, okay? Or breaking in your house. Let's see if we can get to him before he gets to that state of mind. Huh? So etiquette-centered mentoring is a program that we're sponsoring. And we are looking to get 20 men. Could be women. Women are welcome to come and participate in this, because our women are in trouble too. But the men are the ones who are primarily in the state prison system. Go to the county. 90% of the incarcerated in the county are men. So who is in trouble the most? Who needs the most help is our men. Start with a boy at 7, 8, 9, 10 years of age. That's when we need to get to them. We need to work with them. So make your New Year's resolution to come and join us and be a part of what we're trying to achieve 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. This is the impact we're trying to have. We have a caller. Caller, you're in the air.
Mr. Wright.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I mean, how can nobody not understand the things that you try to give to us every week? And if you go from Wednesday to Wednesday, just take out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then when they come Wednesday to look at your show, and they could just look around, think about everything what you've seen all this week.
Yes.
It's a wonderful thing what you're saying, helping them now. But you know what else I think we need to do?
What's that, Steve?
With your mentorees, I think what they need to do, see, it's a bunch of people. It's a bunch of people that I call yet. They haven't yet been caught. They haven't yet did the time. They haven't yet been living in abandoned buildings and things of that nature.
Right.
Maybe everybody deserves a second chance in life.
Yes.
So why not go for the older people also? Because I think more older people that will get it will try to spread it and make sure the younger people might have it. So, I mean, it's just like a ball. Just bounce out the wall, each wall, and it might work.
Excellent
idea.
Like,
I can't stay too long, but listen to me.
That's an excellent idea, Steve. You're absolutely right. Those guys who've gone to prison and came out, they know what the deal is, and they're probably way more motivated to intercede in some young person's life, maybe a member of their family. You're absolutely right.
And then the most important, they want to enhance their life. They want to do a little bit better, because many of them you hear that they come out and what their parents don't want them, they family don't want them, their girlfriend, their wives, their children. So they're all alone. Only thing they have to do is just join with what the people they was doing before they went in. But again, listen, I can't stay long.
Yeah, but thank you, though,
again,
Steve.
I had to listen to you. I've been listening for about the last 10 minutes.
Yes, that's okay.
You're a good guy, real good guy.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve.
All right, let me get out there. Hopefully somebody's trying to call you and reach you.
Okay, Steve, thank you.
All right, now.
And if we don't talk, I have your number, and I'm going to call you so we can have a conversation, okay? Steve is one of our really loyal callers. We were supposed to get together and talk this past week. I dropped the ball and I did not reach out to Steve, but I am going to reach out to you, Steve. I do have your number. That's high on my agenda, okay? Oh, we have another caller. Caller, you're on the air?
Yes, Mr. Wright, I have a question for you. Do you think that it has to do with being focused in terms of, getting these young men to act properly, and act with some kind of class, and thinking? Like, there's an organization in Chicago, whereas it's called Think Before You Shoot, where
I like that one.
This gentleman does a bunch of little short documentaries and talking about if and it's like documentaries real to life, saying like what happens if this person doesn't shoot his gun or her gun.
Yes.
What happens?
Think before you shoot.
So maybe there are no victims. If they decide to maybe not act so quickly, but actually think. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's what I want to get your point of that. Like, do you think that there needs to be more focus, and people need to think first before they react?
Yes.
Think first before they become offended.
Yes.
Maybe they shouldn't be offended.
Yes, I agree. And I love to talk to the people at that organization. So maybe I can come over and make some kind of presentation to them to give them a sense of what etiquette can do to enhance that program. But I think before you do anything is a key part of your intellectual exercise. So therefore you can be more responsible for what comes out of your mouth if you think about it before you say it. But I like the concept of think before you shoot. But I would say, my only minor but is, I would say that most of those young people who are actually out there shooting and killing are intoxicated on some kind of drug. Can you imagine you give a young 15, 16-year-old a joint, and if you know what's going on with this marijuana here in the city, a lot of it's laced with some kind of hallucinogenic properties. And so a 15-year-old who's never engaged or indulged in that, and they've taken one or two hits of that, they're out of their mind right there. And then you give them a gun. You put a gun in that 15-year-old's hand. I'm talking about from a gang-related situation, okay? And they're riding around in the neighborhood, and the guy said, "Pop 'em, pop 'em." Boom, boom. And there's someone dead, or someone injured who wasn't even a target. So it's more that, I think, going on with these random shootings, or these drive-bys they call them. The people in there are more than likely intoxicated on some kind of substance that places them in where they can't think about, I should think before I shoot. They've gone too far down that commitment road, and they act based on that conditioning that came before they got to the point of someone putting a gun in their hands. But, that's not in all situations, but I think a lot of it has to do with the drugs that are being utilized out there with our young people. And for anyone who smoked marijuana, I mean, when the marijuana was supposedly nice and clean a few years ago, right? You can be a little out of your mind where you're not under the same control that you would have over yourself if you were not high. And of course, those who have used the drug know that it makes you paranoid, it makes you impulsive, and it makes you do things you really cannot appreciate the gravity of it. So, think before you shoot. It should be an etiquette part before you get to that point where you have a gun in your hand. We will try to avoid getting that gun in their hand. That's the first step. So we don't have to think about it before we shoot. We ain't got a gun. So I would like to be a part of that program in some form or some fashion. But thank you to caller for calling in. And call in next week. I appreciate your input and your thoughts on the subject. Back to this New Year's resolution, this etiquette-centered mentoring. I'm hoping that I can get at least 2 or 3 people to contact us that say they want to be a part of this training. It's not a long, drawn-out training, but it does dissect your purpose and your goals with this young person. It does do that, and I've been doing it for 30 years, so I have a lot of great little information that would help you relate with this child, help you bond with this child, help you build confidence between you and this child. And it's so easy to do. And in doing that, there are certain things we like to emphasize in our mentoring. And that is, number one, education. You want this child to really be motivated and understand the value of being well educated. So I'm going to conclude with that little statement, and I'm going to put up our information so that if you're interested in reaching out to us, please do not hesitate to give me a call at 312-473-2942 or send me an email, info@efoi.org. Please, men, women, please join me. Free, no charge. In fact, I'm going to have sandwiches and some snacks for you so you won't get bored with the program. Give us a call. This is what we're going to do in January starting and in 2019. And we look forward to having your participation. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.